Hello, Internet Nation. Alexander here. I don't feel like talking right now, so this is the perfect time to talk, I guess. I had plans for what I wanted to say, but I'm all frazzled right now. So I'm in my old apartment, and it's basically stripped right now. Because I'm moving out. I can't afford this place, and I'm tired of the anxiety and all the variables of being here, on top of not being able to afford it. So I'm trying to make sure that my voice is loud enough to be picked up by the camera, but I don't want to be yelling, even though, well, this spot is kind of soundproof, but I don't know, without the sheets and the teddy bears, all that stuff absorbing sound now. But anyway, life is interesting right now. Kind of feel like I might lose my mind slowly with the spot I'm at. It's an interesting trade-off because I feel less tense. I feel very tense here. And you don't realize that till you haven't been in it for a few days. Well, I mean, I realized I was really like on edge all the time when I was home, and I couldn't really tell if that was because of financial issues and not being able to keep up with the rent, or if it was literally everything. It probably was everything, because this place is really busy. I was here, I came yesterday, and I was gonna stay at my friend's house for a bit because they were supposed to go to the con. So I was like, cool, so I can just be here and have some me time, because you can't have me time with somebody that works from home and doesn't go places. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna have some me time, I'm gonna sleep in, and then have breakfast, and then go to my place and clean the room, all that jazz. Probably sleep here for the night because, I really like my sleep, and it's not really comfortable sleeping there. I'm sleeping on the couch, which is funny to say that the couch is not comfortable when I sleep on a mattress on the floor, and if I could just put my mattress on the floor, I would be grooving, because the couch isn't even long enough for my body. So yeah. And then yesterday, the night before yesterday was particularly hard because my friend was laying on my teddy bear, and then my brain was like, I don't let people do that. I don't remember why, but I don't let people do that. I'm not gonna be an ass about it because I did leave my gigantic person-sized bear on the couch, so it's cool if people sit on it. But I don't know what it is. I think it's his deodorant, or maybe he wears cologne, but he has a very strong smell, and it's not like a natural odor. It's like a perfumey, cologne-y smell, and I cannot stand colognes and perfumes. Like, my nose is too sensitive, and I'm like, oh, right, this is why I don't let people, specifically guys, lay on my teddy bears, because they have smells, and then those smells get stuck onto things, and then it was making me very upset when I was laying with my pink rabbit that I sometimes use as a pillow when I'm not when I want to lay down with my head more elevated than you would if you were going to sleep. But you know what I mean. Like, when you go to sleep, you want your head elevated, but not so elevated that your neck is at an angle. But that, stuff like that is okay when you're just laying there. So I'm laying on my teddy bear, and I'm like, this entire side of my bear smells like this dude, and this is a very strong smell. So I was very sad, and it's hard to get good sleep on the couch because it's very uncomfortable, and there's lights all over the room, and I'm used to sleeping in absolute darkness, aside from when I fuck around and find out because I'm going to sleep at like 5 in the morning, so the sun is coming up, and you can only stop so much sun because the sun would come up and come right through these windows. And like this one is fine because there's a blackout curtain that generally blocks 98% of the light from coming in. But still, when I go to sleep at a reasonable time, it is in pitch blackness. And I'm also in a room. So then when his partner gets up in the morning, she is very loud. Very loud. So there's a lot of smells and a lot of sounds and a lot of discomfort. And all of that, I'm slowly losing my mind. Slowly losing my mind. On top of like lack of alone time, I like my alone time. I find humans to be very frustrating, and I need to recoup from that. And I have not had a lot of that, which is why I came earlier, skipped breakfast, because I just wanted to like get out of there and go back to sleep before I got pissy, because I have an attitude problem. And I was thinking about that the other day because I made a tweet about them not letting me sleep, and this is torture. And then I felt bad about it because, like, oh, what if he sees that? And then he's going to think I'm an asshole. But it's just like, you're generally a nice person, but, like, how many, like, I say I'm an asshole so much that you would have to be an idiot to not realize I'm an asshole. It's like, even if I am really nice of a person and I'm really good to the people around me, I'm still an asshole. But even then, that's just my feelings and venting my frustration because sleep is important. You know, I already have insomnia, so it's hard to fall asleep. And I'm in this new situation, stressing over how I'm going to get the rest of my stuff out of this apartment because the plan was to get everything in one go. And as full as the truck got, you know, if we had time, like the extra hour that I needed, and one of my dudes arriving earlier to help with more stuff, like the pole, because we couldn't get the fucking pole down. But yeah, now there's a bunch of stuff at my place, this place. And yeah, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna transport all that stuff because I was only really gonna have money one time this month, and that was when I did dog sitting over the weekend. And that one trip used all that money. I don't know, maybe next time, this time when I do it, I'm going to get a U-Haul and just risk being scammed, because it's like I have what you say I need, but everything other than that I don't have, and I guess I'll just transfer the excess to Cash App, so it's like, okay, you can charge the card, but I'm gonna let them know that that's a scam. But anyway, I also have a friend from school who said that she has a dude with a truck van thing that might be able to help. So I'll see how that goes. There are lots of opportunities, so I'm not going to stress about that. I'm just going to stress about packing all this stuff up and cleaning the room, maybe repairing stuff like this wall because it has tomahawk marks in it from when the two construction dudes were doing construction on this wall at like 6:59 in the morning, just banging on right next to my head. I'm very frazzled right now, you guys, because there's just so much going on and I'm just so frustrated. I need to vent things, and then every time I want to vent something, I'm like, well, for one, I don't have anybody to vent to. I was literally thinking about having a deep, meaningful conversation with my friend and just kind of like confront her on some things, because it's just like, this whole time you haven't been taking me serious. Every time I told you how I felt, it's like, oh, did you think I was joking every time I said I was jealous? No, I was being sincere. I do joke a lot, but I am very sincere with my feelings, and you shouldn't automatically assume everything I say is a joke, you know? Especially when I'm like, I feel, and that makes me, and when you do this, I'm like, it's not really a joke. So it's like all this all this stuff. It's like this relationship makes me feel really bad. And like, I know a lot of it is my own jealousy and envy and unprocessed feelings, but then it's like I can't even talk to you about it. And when I talk to you about my feelings, you dismiss it, and then I just get the, oh, well, I did this because X, Y, and Z, and I'm not blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you can't not be engaged all the time and expect me to think that it's okay. Like, it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be so jealous of the people that you have in your life, but at the same time, you can't say that you're there for me, but every time I need you, it's like, oh, I'm going through this, and then I was doing my own thing, and I'm out with this person, and yada yada, and it's like, I get that, but if it's always gonna be like that, like to the point where it's like I kind of dreaded them coming back for another visit, because it's like last time you were here, you were just on your phone the entire time, and I would talk to you and you wouldn't respond to me, and then it was making me feel a type of way, especially when we're having like our own little adventure and you're just like talking to your partner. But that's me, you know? That's why in the last video I said I was going to take on the role of monster, because who am I to implement my idea of friendship onto others, you know? That's why I don't really consider people friends, because there are expectations that I have for my friends, and it's perfectly fine for you to want to consider me a friend, and then hold me to your expectations of friendship, because that's what I like. Well, for one, if I choose to engage in friendship with you, then by all means hold me to your standard of friendship, as I will do you if I choose to consider you a friend. But at the same time, who am I to be like, hey, I would enjoy if we could have this fun adventure, just two of us, you know, like just hang out, especially someone that we don't get to see a lot. Like, I understand wanting to talk to your peoples back home, but like all throughout the day, and then all throughout when we're at the house, and all throughout the events, and it's like, I don't know, why do I like keeping you around if all you do is make me feel jealous and inferior, and like my company isn't good enough for you to share a moment in the present with me. For some reason, people seem to struggle with being in the moment. So much so that I've noticed people have a strange addiction to time. People always want to know what time it is. And it's like, I get wanting to know what time it is if you have something to do at a certain time. But if it's just a random time, what do you want to know so much? Why do you want to be so enthralled in the human concept of time instead of just experiencing life? Why do you want to put the limitations of the time frame that actually mean nothing in the grand cosmos of things? Why do we have to be so connected to the rotation of the earth instead of just connected to our souls in this moment and where we are and what we're doing? But anyway, that comes down to how people choose to experience life, and I do not choose to experience life like that, and I do not enjoy being around people who choose to experience life in a manner that interrupts how I choose to experience life, you know? Like, it's never like they just look at the clock and they're like, and in their head they're like, it's 5 o'clock. No, they gotta tell you. They always have to tell you. I don't know why they have to tell you, and despite the fact I keep telling people I don't want to know. I prefer not to know the time. Like, literally, I'm the type of person, I will look out, see how the fucking shadows are positioned, the fucking position of the sun, and be like, yes, it's 5-ish. It's like fall. We're in fall right now, and the sun goes down around 5, and we're in the middle of sunset there, so therefore it's like 4-ish. That's good enough for me, you know? As long as it's not a school day, or I don't have somewhere to be at a specific time, that's all I need. Why do I need to know? Like, do I really need the added judgment of, oh, bitch, it's 6 in the morning and you're still not tired? No. Why would I want to judge myself like that? Anyway, I was thinking of having that conversation and just being like, hey, this friendship doesn't stand up to my quality of friendship, and, you know, this whole time I've really been, like, ever since I've been trying to connect with you more, I've just felt like this is one-sided, and I feel like you don't really consider my feelings. Not that I'm saying that everything you do, you have to put my feelings into consideration. I would just appreciate if you would consider my feelings sometimes. I don't know. You know, with your like actions, and it's like if I feel like X, Y, and Z, could you maybe not, you know, like if I'm telling you I'm lonely, could you maybe not rub what you're doing with the people that you love and love you in my face, you know? Like, could you maybe not send me those pictures when I'm telling you how frustrated I am and how much I wish I had somebody to talk to, you know? And you're always telling me that, oh, you don't know what to say, I gotta figure it out on my own, I need a therapist more than I need a friend. And I'm just like, I'm not asking y'all to sit here and decipher how to get over my trauma. A big portion of my trauma has been my isolation, and I was trying to get the lady I was doing the podcast with to understand that, but she just kept pushing, you're born alone, you die alone, which is a false. I'm a cutie. I mean, not that Dr. Doofenshmirtz isn't a cutie, but I am not Dr. Doof. My mom was indeed present for my birth. There was probably some nurses around. I could probably find another person born on my birthday. Maybe even another person born in the hospital. Maybe even down to the hour. I don't know. It probably could happen. So, like, it's ridiculous to say that you're born alone. And it's also ridiculous and dismissive of everybody who's died in, like, a freak accident to say that you die alone too. Like, I don't want to, I'm pretty sure the people who died in 9/11, who died in the plane, who died in the tower, all instantaneously on impact at the same time, don't want to hear how you die alone, because like their kid lost their opportunity for life, their husband can't even find a new lover now because they also died. Like, so it's like I'm tired of people saying, oh, I'm here for you, but every time I need somebody, they're not there. And it's like, it was getting to the point where thinking about responding or talking to her, it was making me feel sick. So I'm just like, this isn't what I want in a friendship. It was like, I don't know. It's weird to me to be put in the position to be granted of the best friend status, which struck me as weird because I just thought we were like regular friends. But it's like, I mean, yeah, I guess if I've always been there for you and you needed me, and you, whenever you needed someone to talk to, I've made myself available if I like realize, because like I don't be on Instagram like that sometimes. Like if I need to figure shit out, I usually just go and be with myself and not on social media, because that shit is overwhelming, because most of my DMs are just people trying to get at me and not really talk and have conversations, when all I want to do is have conversations about things, you know, because things are fun to talk about, you know, and that's how you learn and expand yourself more. So it's like, I kind of see why you feel that way about me, but it's not like I've tried to rely on you and was met with success. Like, for some reason I have this weird pattern of like, every time I try to talk to somebody, like they'll literally be like, oh, are you okay? And I'll say, no, I'm not okay, I feel like shit. And because I'm not one of those people that just says things that they don't mean, usually when people ask me if I'm okay, depending on my mood, I might just give them the whole rundown of why I am indeed not okay, to which they usually don't respond for at least a few hours. So it's like, you can't really tell me that you care about me and you want to be there for me if I just said, oh, I was thinking about jumping off a cliff, you know, just sitting on the roof thinking about ending my life. And instead of going, oh, maybe this seems urgent, they just go, oh, let me respond to that in like 5 hours. That's fine. that's not really being there for someone. So that's why I don't really like confiding in people, because they typically bounce. Like, unless you're asking them for money, you're probably not going to get a response on your emotions. That's why I only rely on people for financial aid, because that's all they're really willing to give, you know? And until the day where somebody has more than that to offer, then I don't know, maybe I'll let people in and start calling people friends. Until then, just seems like people want to use me or keep me around because they think I'm pretty. Not really sure what's other than that, because the way people talk, they don't really acknowledge other aspects of my personality, or any aspect of my personality, actually. So, talking about that made me feel a little bit better. On different news, my phone has been turned off, and I'm not too mad about that. I'm not in the days where I was using internet to listen to music, so that's chill. And then most of the places that I go have Wi-Fi, so don't really need phone service. I guess if anybody wants to hire me, I can just start giving out my Google number, but doesn't seem like anybody's hiring right now, so whatever. I'm actually pretty excited about Santander not calling me every day and leaving voicemails every day. I don't know why they think that, like, I didn't just go from paying my bill every month to, like, now I'm fleeing the country. I can't even feed myself, you guys. What makes you think I have money to give you? Especially, like, it was a debt that was probably never going to be finished paying off anyway, because the job market sucks. Like, if I had the money to just one and done, I would. I really would. I really would. But, like, you calling me every day and telling me about the debt is not going to make me suddenly able to pay it. Like, I didn't just change my mind about this stuff. Like, even, like, actually, it probably would have been paid off by now if I didn't lose my job instantly after getting LASIK, you know? Like, if I still had that job, I mean, granted, I probably would still be staying here despite the increased anxiety that I feel about having so many people. Like, I was literally here yesterday trying to, like, one, use the bathroom. As soon as I open the door, there's somebody in the bathroom. Two, make some ramen. There's always somebody in the kitchen. Not gonna miss that. Not gonna miss that at all. I'm not mentally equipped to deal with a bathroom light that screams every time you turn it on. Like, I literally, it's a double-edged sword, you guys. I literally, like, be using the bathroom with the light off a lot of the time. Like, I will go in there and turn the brightness on my iPad up and just, like, use that. But there was a water bug in there one day, so now I'm terrified of being in there in the dark, which is hilarious because I literally go into the bathroom and talk to fucking spirits, and I'm just like, if anybody wants to pop out, now is your opportunity. In pitch, like, I was literally in the bathroom last night, like, commenting on how it was so dark I couldn't even see my hands in front of my face, and I'm just like, oh ho ho, somebody wants to make a noise so I know I'm there. But this place, it's fucking, because there's a water bugs and roaches, I'm just like, this is the true terror. Which, like, honestly, yeah, there are a few things I'm less scared of than giant bugs. Even though it was found dead, that's still sus. Like, as soon as I opened the door, it was just right there, and I'm just like, why? What did I do to you? But on a positive note, question mark, I might be in a better situation. I don't know. My friend was saying how I might be able to stay at her place, but that sounds like a mess and a half. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Let's all put some positive energy out there that goes through so that I can be in a place where I can have my own space, because I'm just like, how am I supposed to make content when you got me sleeping on a couch? Like, I was hoping they would give me the little room, but that would be thinking too logically, and that would be too good. So now I'm just like, okay, so I'm staying with the dude that never goes anywhere. How am I supposed to make content? I can't even make tub content because they don't even have a tub. Ugh. So, like, that's another reason I came home, because I wanted to make a commission for this dude, because I'm just like, I don't even know when I would be able to possibly move into the apartment. And it's bad enough that I was supposed to make him something, and then my body was like, but what if we just got our period right here, right now? Huh? What if we just did that? What if we just bled so we couldn't make porn? Even though, granted, I probably could just be like, hey, so your view on blood? You care? Because if you don't care, I'll just make the thing. It's just gonna be a little bloody. Should have asked. I really should have asked, because I was totally down to make it before all the shit hit the fan and then everything was covered in excrement, you know? Like, I thought I would have the little room, and I was like, alright, let's just put a curtain up, and then, you know, that should be enough privacy to make stuff. No, apparently not. Apparently not. So I'm like, okay, and I was talking to a friend about the apartment, and she was saying the state of the apartment. I'm like, okay, this sounds sus. I don't know what to do with life. Like, part of me is just like, so like now would be the perfect time to just like kill yourself. You know? Like, there's no one relying on me to pay rent right now. All my shit is in like bags and boxes, so it could just be put outside on the curb, which would be a serious waste of finances, you know? Because like, my figure collection is crazy, and my Pokemon plushes are A1, you know? So all that shit should be sold. But like, and there's literally a crate with like electronics and shit. But anyway, I digress. I don't think I will. I'm enjoying school too much, as anxiety inducing as it can be at times, because there's so much to learn and we're going so fast, and you have to keep working with new people to like go through all the maneuvers and stuff, and it's just like a lot. But I'm doing pretty good. I don't know if I'll ever get over my sheer fumble of that last question on my midterm, because I could have got an 86, but I didn't put the word not in my definition, which, you know, without the word not, changes the whole concept of what you're saying. Therefore, what I said was wrong. Y'all, I haven't fumbled a bag that hard in a long time. So, anyway, an 82 isn't that bad. It's not that bad. Especially when you consider all the shit that we need to know, and all the definitions and all the information. The fact that I was expecting like a 70, but the fact that I got an 80, I reached my goal and then some, and that's all that matters. Oh, phone. Hopefully that didn't just entirely flip the video. Maybe I'll attempt to cut that out. I don't know. I literally am working with my phone space, and all my phone has is all that I can use. So, yeah, I can't be multiplying videos by cutting portions out. Oh, I miss the days of micro SD cards. Don't you miss the days of micro SD cards? I hate the state of technology now. Anyway, school has been going good aside from all this. What I think I'm gonna do is just like spend all my time at school, just like live in the practice room so that I don't have to like deal with my living situation or think about it. I don't know. Plus, the better I do in school, the better the better chance at finding a good job, good work study, good job placement at my school, because then the hours reflect because they keep track of your hours. Also, there is an award for most hours in the practice room. That could be me. That could be me. You never know. There is a deep sadness in me. I am pretty lonely right now. I know, right? Surrounded by people constantly, and I'm lonely. Because, I want somebody I can connect with, And most of the people around me do not offer me much in that means, let alone much of a response. Ironically, it is really hard to get a response out of people. A lot of times, it is really hard to have a serious conversation with people because everyone is so shut off. And I mean, I get it. I see why everybody likes everything to be so surface level because it's just easier that way, but it's so unsatisfying. And that stuff just tires me out because you don't care about how I'm doing. Why do you keep asking? Am I really the only person that feels crappy when somebody asks me how I'm doing and then I give them the whole rundown of how shitty I feel and why I feel so shitty, and then all they do is say that sucks? I'm aware that sucks. That's why I don't want to think about it. That's why I want to have a conversation about literally anything that takes my mind off of the stuff that I'm going through. And yet here you are asking me how I feel. As if you give a shit. Just cut that part out and just talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. But the problem is, y'all niggas don't want to talk about anything. You just want to talk to somebody because you like them, but you don't have anything to base that off of. And I don't understand why that's okay. That's lame and stupid. And I don't know, let's have meaningful conversations about stuff. Anyway, I think I was thinking maybe I should hit up the sub market and find me a cute little sub that is down to do whatever for me. So I can make them watch One Piece and then have conversations about the universe with me. Because I've come to notice that if you want something out of humans, you have to pup them. So I'm not a Doflamingo kind of guy, I'm more of a Corazon, I'm more of a Law. I'm more of a Straw Hat than a bad guy. Straw Hats aren't really bad guys because they do too much good. They literally just show up and they go, okay, well, what are we going to do about the situation? We don't have money for a boat, so we can't buy a new boat. Instead of, let's just steal a boat. Was Luffy even worried about getting a boat when they got to Syrup Village? Did they just go there and they were like, we're going to ask for a boat? I don't even think. I'm trying to remember. You would think I remember because I watched the anime before. I watched the anime and I read the manga after I watched the live action. But I can only remember in the live action when Luffy makes the bet with Nami saying that if they can't be given a boat, then they'll steal a boat. But anyway, I'm not a bad guy, so I don't want to be puppeteering anybody. I just want somebody that has interest and wants to do things. Things I feel like everybody around me is so obsessed with work, and I'm just how am I doing that? How am I creating people who only care about work when that's the last thing I care about? Like, how is my projection the opposite? Probably because I need to care about work more, but I don't know. I don't know what to do online. All I have is my phone, and I don't really know how I'm supposed to turn that into, like, to stream, you know? I just want to take over the world. I don't know how, though. I'm pretty sure streaming is a good way to take over the world. I probably should do more self-work, you know, because my ego isn't big enough. I have too many other people's voices radiating in my head talking about what do you even have to offer. Nobody's gonna like what you do. And I guess maybe I'm just second guessing myself too much when it comes to people not being interested in my art simply because I don't even know how to sell that. Like, how do you, not knowing how to sell that. I don't know how to sell the process of that. Because if you've ever seen anybody art, it is a long, tedious process. If you've ever seen anybody with ADHD art, it is a long, tedious process in which you go do another thing while your paint is drying, you know? So it's like, maybe I can bounce around between projects, but who is even going to guarantee that I'm going to feel like working on multiple projects for a series of hours? And then you have to interact with people. I mean, fuck the state of the internet right now. I'm only ever going to do what I feel like doing, you know? So I'm not going to like sell out and feel like I need to constantly be engaging with the chat, especially if they're not saying anything worth engaging with, because best believe I'm not going to be engaging with anybody that's just sitting like, oh my god, you're so sexy, yeah. Unless, you know, I'm just like, check out my outfit, you guys, what do you think? Which I don't know. I feel like too much of a nigga most days, but as a little trans boy, it's difficult to embrace the feeling of self because of how on the line I feel, I guess. Like, I'm fine in this body as long as I don't think about it, which is another reason I hate guys that only want to talk about your genitals and address you by your genitals. Like, hi, my name is Alex, not girl, not woman. Nothing feminine along those lines. My name is Alex. Feel free to call me Alex, you know? Like, you don't need to call me sexy mama. My name is Alex. You know? You feel free to humanize me by referring to me by my name and not my genitals. You know? You're a stranger. Like, for the most part, I could have a penis down there. You don't know. Unless you know, then you know. But you don't know. You haven't seen it. Everybody hasn't seen it, you know? So there's some people that don't know if I legitimately don't have a dick or not. Like, you might think I do if you've seen me on the street, because half the time, like, if I'm riding my bike and then it slips and I get hit in the crotch by the fucking high-ass middle bar, or even a chair, when it's, like, really bumpy, I do go on my dick. So if you only hear that in passing, you might actually think I have a dick. But I don't know, do I look androgynous enough to pass as a male? Or as a neither? I don't know, what even is a girl? Not me. Can't relate. Anyway, I mean, like, that right there, if I genuinely identify as male over female, or if I just don't want to identify as female because of all the constant sexual assault I withstand in my life since being a kid, that's something for a therapist. But also, outside of, like, possibly wanting to talk about it, because, like, I talk about it a lot, don't I? Because it's just a thought that just bounces around in my head because you can't even find a good-ass therapist. And I don't... Why do I need to find a therapist if, like, you have to go through the bullshit and then all of these idiots are just gonna be like, oh, so why don't you just, like, make friends? And I'm like, yes, because I can totally bypass my social anxiety to just jump out and make friends? Why don't you want to address the social anxiety, why that's there, and possibly help me through it so that I can get past the thing stopping me from just going out and making friends? As well as the fact that it's like, most people suck. The last boyfriend I had, this last boyfriend I had, has now become a stalker that calls me from random numbers all the fucking time. He called me this month, and I still want to talk about that with somebody because I hate when this nigga calls me. Like, literally. And, like, all I did was give him a shot, and then he pressured me into a relationship that I then realized I had to finagle my way out of smoothly, because if I did it incorrectly, he was probably going to hurt me. And now here he is, calling me every few months. Yes, the joys of giving people a chance, right? The joys of just going out there and making friends without dealing with the drama, but they never want to talk about that. Nobody ever wants to talk about anything, but everybody thinks only a therapist can talk. I was like, yes, we love how Alex is always available to talk with us about the things we're going through and say something more than just, that sucks. Sorry you're going through that. I mean, honestly, you should be sorry that I'm going through that, because why are you doing this to me? Obviously, it's your fault. That's why you're apologizing, right? But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna be here because, I don't know, being alone isn't so bad. It hurts extra when people come into my face and they say that they care about me and they want the best for me, but then when I tell them what I need, they tell me I'm crazy and I can't have that and I'm being unrealistic. So, I don't know. I'm tired of people who are surrounded by people that love them and are there for them and can, like, do things for them, telling me that I just need to go to therapy. It's like, yes. All I really want is a hug. But what I need is somebody who isn't going to tell me how to fix anything. Somebody who isn't going to even talk about anything. Like, why would you want to, like, unless you have a really good therapist that you could just hand somebody? No, telling somebody to go do therapy is telling them you hate them. Because half the time, they just want to talk to somebody. They just want somebody who actually cares, who they can connect to and feel heard by. But people don't want to give that. They want to act like they're actually your friend and they give a shit about you. But they don't want to talk. They don't even want to listen. Like, the amount of times I've tried to tell people how I felt just for them to not take me fucking serious. But, like, if I want to isolate myself, oh no, don't do that. For what? For what? Why don't you just fight me yourself, bitch? Why don't you just throw fucking hands? If you hate me so fucking much, why don't you just throw hands instead of, like, taunting me into a false sense of security so that I feel comfortable with you, so that I open myself up to you, so that all you can say is sorry that happened to you. You're about to be sorry I threw these fucking hands at you. And it's like, I get that people don't know what to say in a lot of these situations. And you know what? I'm going to tell you guys what to say in these type of situations. Because I don't know what to do in these type of situations. I grew up in isolation. Unlike all you little people who are surrounded by people. And, like, if y'all have toxic relationships, that is on y'all now. That is on y'all now because you're choosing to have these relationships that mean nothing and make you feel like shit. That's all on you. So, the next time somebody tells you something that's, like, deep and personal, and they obviously want some type of reaction from you. They want you to comfort them. They want you to validate them. Think of what you would want someone to say to you in that situation. If you had just said what they said, think of what you would want someone to say to you. That's what I do. But, because I've been through a lot of shit. And I try to make the positive out of that. That since I've been through a lot of shit, then I can relate to a lot of people. I mean, I also have a vivid imagination that allows me to put myself in somebody's situation and go, ah, yes, you know, I've never had that happen to me, but I can see how that would suck and be soul crushing. So I'm going to empathize with you because that sounds like that sucks. You know? It's as simple as that. Probably never good to tell somebody you don't know what to say. Especially every time they open up to you. It's probably not good to say that. Because, yeah, you got all these people around you that care about you, and I can't even get words. Can't even get words. Makes a person feel really bad. Really shitty. Like they don't matter. You don't want to make somebody feel like they don't matter, right? So next time, think of what you would want somebody to say. And then say that, you know? I find that, like, connecting with somebody and, like, sharing your experience is always better than, mind you, I said your experience, not somebody else's experience. The worst thing you can do is bring up somebody else that went through the same thing that you helped. Because you telling this person that you helped another person through the situation is only going to make them feel bad. It's only going to make them feel like shit because they're here trying to get help with the situation. They don't want to hear about your great grandma who you helped with the situation, because you helping them only shows that you know what to do and you were willing to help, but you don't give a fuck about this person being open with you now. Think about that. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Especially don't be an asshole and then wonder why people don't want to open up to you or confide in you or consider you a friend, because some people have actual standards for friendship, you know? And that standard isn't just you exist and you're here. Anyway, I'm about to run out of space, so I'm going to end this rant here. I think it was productive. I hope you found some growth in this, like I did. Until next time, Internet Nation, know that you are loved by this guy. And this guy too. It's my mini Paimon. This is sleepy face. But he loves you. Unless you're an asshole. And he doesn't like you. Especially if you're an asshole that hurt me. Then he extra doesn't like you. But you guys are cool, I'm sure of that. Anyway, bye.